I'm your host for the next 20-30 minutes or so, Stephen John McLaughlin, and just like to thank you once again for joining us here on this Friday afternoon here in the UK, and of course for our Indian community it will be obviously Friday evening, going into the evening I believe. So I wasn't going to plan on doing a live feed today because we obviously know that we are doing pictures at the moment. We've just finished obviously Sir Key class on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, and we went right into pictures after that yesterday. So if you're a follower of the channel, you will know of course that episode 2 just dropped over a couple of hours ago, and it's been well received so far. Thank you very much for that, for clicking on the video, and of course for episode 1 as well. This is the one that we really wanted to do here at MP for the last few months, and we couldn't get a hold of access anywhere on our UK platforms. But thanks to the community obviously advising us that we obviously could get access through the Z5 app, and we'll talk about that actually for a little moment in terms of how to get access to that. And obviously with Pictures being an older TV series from 2015 and obviously second season from last year, we were able to gain access to that without having to sign up to a premium subscription or anything like that. So the only drawback to that is obviously that lots and lots of adverts, and it seems to be the same adverts that keep coming through. So it gives us a little headache when we are obviously editing the videos and stuff like that. So episode 2 was a little bit later on Patreon. We had a few people obviously saying, you know, that where is it? It's because our first version of that actually got blocked, so there's a slight delay in that. But obviously for our YouTube viewers, it was out at the usual time here, midday in the UK. So we hope you enjoy that reaction. We certainly are enjoying the show. We both think it's excellent. We'll go into pictures in a moment though. We'll talk about obviously where we're at with that, and obviously we don't want any spoilers because we are still in the process of watching this fantastic story. But our SK Sir Key class, as it's known, obviously was a very short 3-episode web series that dropped this year. And one of the things John and I were very surprised about was that a lot of our community weren't aware of this web series. It was recommended to us by a few people in the community, but we have had comments saying they didn't even know this web series existed. And we enjoyed it. 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb, so it's got to be pretty good, isn't it? Certainly if you're fans of Aspirants, but again, if you're getting into thinking this is going to be like Aspirants, then you're in for a bit of a shock, because it is obviously predominantly focused on the SK character, which John and I agreed that I think he kind of gets sidelined a little bit in Aspirants, not in a deliberate way, but he had a meaning and a purpose in that story, but he wasn't sort of the main focus, you know. But just Ashish was obviously the student, this prodigy that he had to bring out of his rut, out of his shell, and get him on straight and narrow, and that was where he had to succeed. For anyone that's not seen it, I'll not get into too many details on it in case you haven't seen it yet. So because it is from 2023, it's a rare occasion that, you know, John and I can actually talk about things and have to keep it spoiler free, because most of the stuff that we are reacting to is obviously from 5, 6, 7 years ago and stuff like that at the moment, as we play catch up on our channel with these great web series. But just getting back to obviously SK Sir Key class, fantastic short story. Thought it was very well handled considering there was only 3 episodes lasting anything between 25 and 35 minutes, and to get that sort of hit the ground running with that story was probably the thing that made this thing work, I think, most importantly, because the cast was very smaller than Aspirants, and Aspirants was very contained as it was. But I did say obviously the Guri character and obviously Abhilash, blanked his name here, Abhilash, Naveen Kasturia, I knew they wouldn't be in this predominantly because the story wasn't about them. So fantastic the way it was handled. Loved the ending as well. Really touching moments in there as well for these 3 characters. And I did ask the question, I asked John the question, I think I might have asked the community as well, was it enough? Because I always felt after Aspirants, which we only got 5 episodes of, the story was told, there was nothing left to tell. But I still wanted more to see these characters and see how they were getting on and stuff like that. And I think this handled it well. I don't think I need to see them again. I don't think I had to, go back into this world with these characters. I think the story served its purpose, and it was really well written. I really enjoyed it, and having those sort of familiar faces in there as more supporting characters, and having those familiar landmarks. Obviously, the sort of tea stand, Shambu, I think the character's name was. Just having those little familiarities in there was fantastic, and kept it sort of consistent. Obviously, if you're looking at it as a sort of spin-off, but it was really good. Really enjoyed it. Fantastic. This is live. Yes, we are live. It's not recorded. It's what we do every Friday here on the channel. It gives me a little chance to obviously talk to you guys, because as you know, John does most of the talking on our reactions because he is the host and he closes it off as well. And I mostly do the live stuff when we're doing sort of TV news and stuff like that, web news, entertainment stuff and all that we normally do on a Monday and a Tuesday night here in the UK, which is probably out of office hours for you guys, so that's what I do. So it's just another chance for me to obviously sort of flex my brain and make sure that it's working and I'm ready for live TV. So yeah, before I get into talking about pictures, because we're only into episode 2 at the moment, and obviously YouTube land, in real time we've actually finished the first season and we're going to start recording the second season, I think Sunday night. So it should be interesting. Obviously, Jitendra Kumar's not in the second season for various reasons. He's obviously been committed to other roles. 7 years after obviously the first season dropped, we've had a few people that have come in and explained that one to us. Very much appreciated, because it was puzzling why there was a 7-year gap. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. But I'm going to jump into our comments for the moment. We've got a few comments, not too many obviously, because we've not really got anything breaking, if you like. But I've got a bit of news for you at the very end of this that might please a few people. But Ranjnish Kumar says, TVF's Gulak reaction please. Yeah, we are trying our best to look for Gulak. Ranjnish, it's very hard to come by. We know that the first season is on YouTube on the TVF channel, but they don't have English subtitles, so we're looking at some software and hopefully we can get something that can help us to watch Gulak, because we do want to watch it. And there is other ones like Hostel Days that has been suggested as well, and Permanent Roommates I think was the other one. So yeah, I mean, we're always keeping our list intact and ticking it as we strike it off as we watch these shows. So yeah, definitely, it is definitely something that we do want to check out. It is definitely because of TVF. And I've got an idea as well that we might do a special live thing regarding TVF once we've done enough of these shows and we've got enough knowledge in our memory banks. I've got an idea for a live show that's going to include you guys, and that's what we want to do. We want to include you guys in this discussion because we're going to have something that's going to come. I've talked to John about it briefly, but I think once we've watched enough of TVF's content, then I think it's more justifiable to do this live show that I'm planning. So there'll be more news on that maybe a couple of months from now, once we're further down the line with all these web series. But yeah, Ryo says picture story will get more and more gripping towards the end. Yeah, I mean, without getting into too much detail, obviously I don't want to spoil any of sort of reaction or surprises or commentary or anything like that, Ryo, but yeah, we definitely noticed that at the beginning it was very comedic. I mean, the comedy stayed throughout, let's be honest, it was very consistent, but it got more drama driven near the end. We're talking about season 1 here, I've not seen season 2 yet, but amazing acting once again from these guys, and very impressed with obviously the cast on pictures. Fantastic when you look at like Naveen Kasturia and what he did in Aspirants and what he's doing in this are totally different, and it shows his range very much. Like Jitendra Kumar, when we saw him, come in Panchayat, and then we saw him in Quota Factory, totally two different characters, and you forget it's the same person that's acting, So things like that. And obviously, I don't know if I said his name right, and obviously our recordings, you'll not see that yet because it's not dropped, but Aruna Kumar, I think, you don't pronounce the B and H, I believe, is obviously one of the founders of TVF, and he's obviously the creator of this show and one of the writers, only writer, I think, perhaps, maybe. But yeah, we've discovered that, I think, episode 2 after reading the credits, and I think that's when we went, hold on a wee minute, we know his name from somewhere, and we realised he was part of the TVF group. So yeah, it's fantastic, it's very gripping. Mohammed, any updates on Azure, mate? Yeah, we can't get it. We just cannot get it in this country for some reason. I don't know what the deal is with that. And we've checked on certain platforms, legal platforms, of course, and we're just hoping we can get to see Azure, because we know that there's a lot of people recommended this over the last year or so, and it's just very hard to get a hold of here in the UK. If anyone knows how to get a hold of it with English subtitles, please let us know in the comment section, or you can drop a comment into the actual video once it's fully uploaded, whether it's live chat or not. It's always appreciated. Hi Kamal, how you doing? Yes, as I said earlier, yes, this is live at the moment. I'm on my lunch break. I work from home, so I'm on my lunch break at the minute, and I will be getting back to work very shortly. Yeah, Mohit says the scam 1992. Yeah, this was one of the things I was wanting to talk to you guys about. Now, John and I watched Scam 1992. I think it was 3 years ago, and this was before we did watch along reactions. What we used to do was we would watch a film or a web series, and then we would review it. And in particular with web series, we'd review it once a week per episode, and that's what we did with Scam 1992. We kind of regret it now, because obviously the whole reacting, as a watch along is what everyone's doing now. But this was obviously before that kind of thing kicked off big time, and that's the way we did it. We used to just review and discuss. So Scam 1992 is in our playlist as reviews. We sit there, we discuss each episode and how we found it and all that. And it was the first web series that we watched as well on the channel, and really enjoyed it. Obviously the Scam 1992, the Harshad Meta story, it was fantastic. It was really well written, and because it was obviously based on a true story, which I think most people in the West probably weren't aware of, it made it more intriguing to us to find out where the story was going to go. But we really liked it, really liked it. And suppose the question would be, knowing the facts that John and I have watched this, would you really want to watch us doing a watch along? Because the reactions, I mean, it was 3 years, we probably have forgot most of it anyway. We know obviously the sort of backbone to the story and characters, but it's something you would really want to watch, knowing fine well that the hosts have already seen it, and you wouldn't know what a genuine reaction was. We would give genuine reactions, but there wouldn't be much of a reaction, if you know what I mean, because we've seen it. So we have to be honest with you. We're not going to fake react, because you would come across the playlist anyway. But we wouldn't do that, So it's up to you guys. You can leave comments in the live chat if you want, and let us know if it's something that you would interest you, because I know a lot of people would like us to react to it, but they have to be made aware that we have seen it, so it kind of takes the edge off it if you know fine well that we've seen it. So it's up to you guys. Kishan says, yeah, Merry Family Season 1. I don't know what that is, sorry Kishan. Merry Family Season 1. Is that Family Man by any chance? If it is, we have done both seasons of that. We're awaiting Season 3 coming out. And we know obviously with Farzai dropping, it's kind of delayed it a little bit because it's all part of the same world, so, and Farzai was great. Hi there NSRKG, hi there, how you doing? Thunder Haze, guys, stop typing Scam 1992, they reacted like 2 years back. It was 3 years back now, Thunder. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We don't mind, there's a lot of content on the channel, so it's very hard to obviously know exactly what we've done and what we haven't done. If you don't check the playlist, we try and keep that up to date as quickly as possible, and make sure everything's on the ball so you know exactly what we've reacted to. But it's not, we don't take offence to it or anything like that. But you're absolutely right, Thunder. Azure would be great. Yeah, I mean, if we can get hold of that, it'd be great. Hi, Prince Kumar. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Ardash says AIB videos. AIB videos. Not sure what that is. Ardash, maybe you could elaborate on that, please. And we can have a wee chat about that. Keishan Balboa, that's a cool name, says to keep things simple as it is, one of the toughest things to do, and the simplicity is the USP of the show. You merry family, so it's not the Family Man then. So this is another series then, or is it a film? Not sure. Maybe you can let us know. It's a TVF. I just saw your comment there further down, Keishan. Thanks very much for that. Yeah, okay, yeah. You merry family. I think we might have seen that perhaps maybe in the comments a few times, and it's certainly, if it is, it's probably on the list that John holds at the moment. So yeah, we'll certainly have a look at that as well. Thank you very much, Keishan. Turing says, hey, hi there, Turing. How you doing? Very nice to meet you. Rao says, Jitendra Kumar became a big time actor now. Yeah, well, and I kind of got that impression, you know. I kind of got the impression that perhaps maybe he was busy doing other things. Certainly since Panchayat came out, we've came to know him obviously a lot more than obviously we did at the very beginning of our web series watch along. So yeah, probably TV's best work. Keishan says that's interesting. I'd like to know your thoughts on that, guys. Is Ye Merry Families TVF's best work? Let us know in the comments and let us know. Raul says Dahad. Not sure what that means, Raul. Maybe you can let us know in the comment section what that means. I hope it's not a sweary word. We don't swear here on our channel much. Harandi says go Rangers. Yeah, enough of that. We don't talk football. Well, John does a bit, but I don't talk football on our channel. It's all about entertainment. It's all about film. It's all about web series. He can talk about Man City, Rangers, Celtic, Manchester United, Arsenal, whoever he wants. That's up to him. I generally don't talk about it. I used to work in football, so I kind of don't want to talk about it, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's the comments for time being, guys. I'm going to go back in and talk to you about TV pictures and where we're at. As I said earlier, we're episode 2, just dropped today, but we have recorded the other 3 episodes. We did our mini review last night. We recorded episode 5 of season 1. We did our review as well, and I'll not give too much away, but loving it. Absolutely loving it. This is a great series. This full of really funny moments, great emotional moments, and a fantastic cast. Really, really impressed with the cast as well. And we're seeing some people in there. Obviously, the chap that played the compounder was in I think the first 3 minutes of episode 1, and yeah, I mean, there's all these faces that we've seen, and we go, yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, familiar faces. But just talking about the sort of main 4, obviously, Naveen, Yogi, Mandal, and Jitendra. They're the Fab 4, if you like. Fantastic. But there is other side characters in there, like Dungeon Master and stuff like that that were really good, you know. And obviously the romantic involvements, I think. Hina was one of them, and Parajita, I think, maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure, I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, those 4 for me were fantastic, and I said to John after we filmed, you know, as big a fans we are of Jitendra Kumar, I did say I don't know if I'll miss him too much in season 2, because the other 3 are big characters, big personalities as well. You know, it's not like he is the sort of main lead in this. I regard Naveen Kasturia's character, obviously Naveen Bansal, as the main sort of you know, protagonist in the film, in the web series. And what we've seen from his arc so far has been quite emotional, and certainly in the last episode of season 1, I think it hit home even more about his character. But as an actor, Naveen Kasturia is fantastic. He really is, you know, and we're really enjoying his work. And obviously we spoke about Aruna Kumar earlier. Obviously, this is the man who's responsible for all this great content we're getting on TVF. He is the man that started it all. And I wish him well and everything, because he's certainly given a lot to the world in terms of great content, great storylines, very real stories, if you like, tackling everyday sort of circumstances and events. And then you've got obviously the Mandal character, who I think annoyed John at the very start, but I think he's supposed to have a bit of an annoyance about him. He almost puts me in mind of the David Brent character in The Office, when you take away the sort of the comedic parts of the character, and you actually see how vulnerable he is, and how insecure he is. I think as Abhi Mahajan plays him, Mandal's a fantastic character. The growth in his character as well, and just steps up at the right moment every time, and surprises them. And obviously Jitendra, as Jitendra, that seems to be a common thing with him. His issues with his father as well were well documented in the first season, and the only season he's in. And some of the moments in that were frustrating to watch, but we understood obviously, the position that, of being the son, and the sort of father-son relationship, and certainly in that relationship anyway. It's a fantastic web series though, really enjoying it, and I just can't wait to get into season 2. I think we'll probably start recording that one Sunday. Just before we get into what we're going to be doing next, I just want to talk about Class first, because people have been saying, where is Class? You've reacted to 2 of you gave up on it. We've not gave up on it at all. We have said all along that we're going to be doing this once a week, and we're getting into episode 3 tonight. We're going to be recording that and editing it, getting it on Patreon for Saturday, and then it will go its premiere on YouTube on Sunday. So it is in the pipeline, and that's what we'll do. We'll keep doing Class once a week because it's fantastic. We like it. We know it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's quite mixed bag in terms of its audience, and certainly from our community, it's certainly a mixed bag. But it's something that John and I wanted to watch, so we're doing it once a week because we are enjoying it, and so far so good. Ryle says it's a series on Prime Video. Well, if it's on Prime Video, then it'll not be an issue, obviously, accessing that from the UK, because most of the ones that we've done have been from Prime Video, occasionally Netflix, but Prime seems to be at the forefront in terms of Indian content here in the UK. So is Geo Cinema available in UK? I'm not sure what that is, Mohammed. Maybe you can let us know what that is. Certainly it doesn't sound like something that I'm aware of, so probably not available. I'm not really sure. Rahul says, new series about a female cop investigating the disappearance of girls and a serial killer. Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty dark. That does sound pretty dark, Rahul. And it's certainly something that, I suppose Class has got a bit of darkness in it, but there is a remake, and it is more of a whodunit, But that sounds good. That sounds good. I mean, we've done a lot of sort of crime drama and stuff like that, and some people have said maybe have a little break from that, and that's what we've been doing. I think the TVF stuff's been a relief for us in a way. When you see what we've done in the past, over the last 2 years, it's a lot of sort of crime drama, so the TVF stuff sort of lightened it up a little bit in terms of tone, and content. So yeah, definitely look at that. Thanks. Navdeep says, have you seen the trilogy by Vishal Bhardwaj? I've not, no. Perhaps maybe you can drop us a comment and let us know all about that. Navdeep, that'd be very interesting to look into. Okay, wasn't aware of that. No problem, Raul. But I think overall, I think we're really enjoying Pictures, and that's why I was swaying over whether or not to do a live feed today, because Pictures is obviously going to get into next week and probably the end of next week before we're moving on to what we're doing next, out with Class, of course. So it's going to be episode 3 going out on Saturday, episode 4 going out on Sunday, and then episode 5 of season 1, that is, going out on Monday, and then from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then Saturday, that'll be season 2 done. So by next Sunday, a week on Sunday, we'll be all clear. Obviously, class episode 4 will be going out at that point. We're going to move on to film. We're going to take a little break from the TV series and do a film, which will only take us a night to do, maybe 2 nights, depending on the sort of running time. And what we do with our film reactions is we split them into 3 parts. Depending on running time, it could sometimes be just 2 parts or maybe 4 parts if it's a really long film. And that's what we'll be doing. We'll be doing a film, sort of just to sort of bridge the gap. And while we've got that in the can and editing, we'll be reacting to more TV series. But I think a film may be the sort of answer at the moment, just to sort of get us into the sort of way of doing things that we used to do. Because people are saying in the community, you know, that certainly in the comments section, that, you know, why don't you do films? Well, that's all we did do before we came across all these great web series like The Family Man. You know, and certainly it's something that we want to go back to, and we know there's a lot of films out there, so perhaps maybe you can give us some recommendations in the comments section. Let us know what kind of films you think that we would like. We are looking at some Shah Rukh Khan stuff. Obviously Patan has just dropped, obviously on Prime Video here in the UK, so that's probably the most obvious choice. It really just depends on whether or not we can get around copyright with that one. We'll have to check out some of the other reaction channels and see how they've formatted theirs. But certainly we're always open to suggestions on films and what you think would be good for a good fit for us, 2 Scottish lads, and what we would obviously understand. So yeah, it's always appreciated when you come away with the suggestions that you do, guys. So, but I'm going to I'm just coming up to the half-hour mark anyway, so I need to get back to work anyway. So just before we go, do you love cricket? I've played cricket, but I don't really understand it. I've tried my best at CNEXY. I know it's obviously a big thing in India, and certainly it is a big thing in England, but in Scotland we don't really have as what you call a sort of professional national team. I think there's an amateur national team, but it's certainly something that kind of takes a sort of a back step here in Scotland, because it's predominantly football, and rugby's probably the second sort of most popular sport here in Scotland, so we don't really get a lot of cricket, and when it is on, I tend to sort of not follow it too well. Maybe I need to spend a little bit more time. I think John knows a bit more about cricket myself, if I'm being honest. But yeah, if you just drop some comments into our live chat, or even into the sort of main chat on this show today, we'll certainly look at it. If you're still watching the feed here, let us know some films that you think we may be interested in. SRK ones definitely we'll be looking at. We've not covered SRK surprisingly on this channel up to this point. We've done some trailer reactions, but we've not done any film reviews, reactions, watch alongs, whatever you want to call it, for some reason, not sure why. So maybe some SRK stuff would be appreciated. But yeah, Hostel Days, yeah, certainly Sudeep, yeah, that's on our list as well, and it will be ones that we will get to. But I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Just like to thank you once again for joining us on our live feed this Friday afternoon. Of course, it's always appreciated when you guys come in and keep that community tab busy with your comments, your suggestions, and your constructive criticism, which we always appreciated. I'm not being funny here when I say that. It's always appreciated when you guys give us some tips on best experience for yous in terms of how we present ourselves, how we speak, when we're speaking, that kind of thing, and obviously subtitles. We are having issues with pictures, subtitles not displaying, and we have addressed it in the chat. The reason for that is the Z5 app gives us tiny little subtitles down at the very bottom of the screen. They're so tiny that it's very hard for us to even read it, so putting them up on the screen would make it even more, you wouldn't see it, you just would not see it, because we can barely see it. Yeah, I am British, yeah, I'm Scottish, but obviously British citizenship through my passport. Obviously Scotland comes under Britain and the UK, so yeah, but we are Scottish, we're from Scotland. Thanks very much for that. But I'm going to love you and leave you anyway, guys. This is definitely me going off now, because I'm about to go back to work in the next 20 seconds. So I'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here, and Yeah, I hope you enjoy what we're doing in terms of pictures, and season 1 episode 3 will drop tomorrow at the usual time, so hope you can join us for that, guys, and we'll see you again later on. Thank you.